Hey, what's going on, guys? I am spending the next couple minutes just running around like crazy, getting everything ready. I will be ready to go here in whatever that countdown says. Man, I should really get some music going for the channel, huh? Hey everyone, come on in, have a seat. We'll get started here in a minute. We are, what is beeping at me? That is crazy. Oh, it's my timer. Hey, alright, so I'm gonna get going. First of all, everybody, welcome. This is, kind of a celebration, live stream. Reached 200 subscribers and still growing all the way up to 209 this week before I could even, get the 200 200 subscriber live stream put together. So that's great news. I of course want to say thank you to everyone who subscribes. Everyone, my notification squad. If you're here, you're probably part of that. All those that take the time to click the video and watch it and leave a thumbs up and a comment, because every time you do that, it helps the channel, guys, and that I really truly do appreciate. It helps out a ton, more than you know, and it means more than you know when I see that little button that says how many we got viewing it and everything. That first about hour after you publish a video is agonizing, because you're sitting there waiting to see if it's going to catch in the algorithm, if any of your subscribers are going to watch it. If you've just wasted an hour of your time putting something together that nobody wants to watch. And that happens occasionally, but for the most part, recently the videos I've been making have been getting those views. I really appreciate you guys clicking on them. And but hey, let's get to talking. I have a few things I was going to talk about today. I wanted to talk, of course, I can't go without talking Captain Marvel because of all of the drama that is being produced out there by, well, let's see, not only Brie Larson out there producing drama, but Marvel's failure to shut her down to a degree and say, look, stop, this isn't an activist movie. This is a superhero movie. So, of course, I want to talk about that. Want to talk about Star Wars Galaxy of Adventure, where a very similar mode has been taken, or a similar, what's the word I'm looking for? Similar tack, where they are, they're rewriting, basically, for a younger audience. They're rewriting the original trilogy, and making Princess Leia more of a jerk. For I mean, just the way it comes across is very poorly done. It's reimagining the original trilogies with a very heavy slant towards a feminist agenda, and very, very annoying for those old school Star Wars fans who've been there since before there were prequels. You know. Going to talk that, probably talk some comic book stuff, talk Avengers Endgame, and maybe some episode 9 rumors if you guys are up for it. So plan on going for probably about an hour. We can, of course, if everything gets rolling, we get a good group in here talking and chatting it up. Of course, we will go as long as I can hold up. And of course, I've got a big old glass of sweet tea here, some water, so I don't get all cottonmouth, and we can knock this out. So the first thing we got to talk about is let's start with this Galaxy of Adventure thing. So, all right, the Galaxy of so those not familiar with Galaxy of Adventure, it is Star Wars recreated. And it's supposed to be just clips of Star Wars for younger viewers. They have several of these out there. Most of them have been pretty good. I've watched a handful of them. They have the scene of Vader from Darth Vader from Rogue One, the ending scene, and it looks amazing. They do a good job of it. It's animated, but the violence isn't toned down to non-existent. It's still Darth Vader doing his thing, but it's not horrible to where, I mean, my son's probably not old enough to watch it yet, but here in a year or so I think he will be. So everything was fine and dandy with this until this last one, and this last one featured Princess Leia. And Leia is, of course, a key. She's a key member of the Star Wars universe. She's key to everything that's going on. She's, of course, Luke's sister. She's a likable character in the fact that she's a strong leader. She's nobody ever really, questioned or thought less of her in any way until. Well, I guess some people weren't too stoked about Jabba's outfit in the Return of the Jedi. It's understandable. But in this, they completely changed Leia's attitude and the way she approaches things. She is a complete jerk. It's not witty. It's not it has nothing to do with wit. It is completely like just not being able to stand these guys that are there to rescue her. So in the clip, Luke Skywalker busts in to save her. He says, "I'm Luke Skywalker. I'm here to rescue you," and she just glares. And that's not dissimilar from the movies. But what is different is later on. She does take the blaster from him. That does happen in the movie. She doesn't rip it out of his hand and then blast a hole and then throw everybody down into the trash compactor like is led on to in this one. Not the case at all. She shoots, she blasts it open, and she leads from the front. And that's one thing that these people don't understand about leadership is you do it from the front. And that is that's what's appreciated. She blows a hole in this vent and dives through it, and everyone else follows her. Because there's no other way out, but because that's leadership. That's not this fake I'm better than you at everything that is being portrayed in this video. Later on, in the picture that you see here is in the movie, Luke Skywalker pulls out a grappling hook, which, I mean, the guy has a grappling hook on him. Who's going to fault him for that? He takes the time to start unwinding some of the line for it so he can throw it and they can swing across, right? Well, of course, because all men are idiots, he gets tangled up in it, and well, he has to get pushed out of the way. And this is her slapping Luke in the face and pushing him backwards so that she can shoot at the stormtroopers. Never mind that he's the one that gets him through this. I mean, he's the one that gets him, saves him, gets him across this. She actually, in the movie, which this is weird because they're brother and sister, she kisses him on the cheek and says, "For luck," and then they swing across. In this, she shoves him in the face and it just jumps away. It's completely ridiculous. Disney, I don't know what it is about these people, but they are completely and utterly determined to destroy Luke Skywalker. And this goes back to The Last Jedi, the complete deconstruction of him. The only reason people showed up, in my opinion, to see The Last Jedi, because coming out of The Force Awakens, it wasn't that bad. It was still hope for, there was enough questions out there that, man, this could be interesting. Let's give them a chance, right? Well, coming out of The Last Jedi, I'd had enough at this point. But this is the kind of silliness that it's just the radical deconstruction of Luke Skywalker. Let's just break him apart, and for what? I mean, why are we trying so hard to break down a guy that in the movies was he was great. I mean, Luke Skywalker had one of the best story arcs in history. He was this farm boy. He didn't do everything right. Everything he's flown, he's either crashed or got shot down in. He showed up to fight Darth Vader to go save his friends, not because he thought he could win, because he thought it was the right thing to do. Got his tail handed to him, actually loses a hand in the process, loses one of his buddies, Han Solo, because he can't save them all, and we end up going into episode the Return of the Jedi. That is the way. Hey, thank you, Critically. Thank you so much, my friend. For anybody in the chat, if you guys have not checked out Thinking Critical yet, he is just recently started a channel, and he's killing it. He's got some great material out there, some great videos, all about the comic industry. That it is spot on, his commentary on it. So big thumbs up. He's at 120 subs already, and he's been doing it for slightly longer than a weekend. He's doing a great job. So big thumbs up to him. But back to Luke Skywalker. And thanks for coming and hanging out, man. But back to Luke Skywalker. Just this galaxy of adventures. Once again, dogpiling on this radical deconstruction of a male figure that was a lot of our generations, or my generations, the 30 and over crowd, is a hero from our childhood. Who, I mean, Luke Skywalker was the man. I mean, there's no doubt about that. And if they don't like something, we must tear it down, and that's what we're getting here. Now let's see. I said I was going to talk Captain Marvel box office as well. There have been multiple reports out there, tons of reports about how the box office for Captain Marvel, and actually, if you go Google this, it's kind of scary. If you go out and Google Captain Marvel box office predictions, it's still showing all the higher end box office. Now remember, this was projected at one point for $140 million box office. $140 million. Think about that. Now they are twisting it to say, and this movie should be in a point where it can't fail. It's bookend by Avengers movies, where at the end scene, Captain Marvel is plugged as the hero that they're calling to, Nick Fury's calling to save them, right? This movie should do $150 million at opening weekend, but it won't. It's going to do. Now, you think Ant-Man and Wasp did $76 million at the box office? $76 million. Now, Ant-Man and the Wasp was not super hyped. It's got a niche in the MCU as this comedy genre, and not a lot of people are fired up about it. I like Ant-Man. I think that comedy aspect really. I think it's funny. But it doesn't sit well with everybody. And it did $76 million, and it had nowhere near the press, nowhere near the media push, nowhere near the advertising money that Captain Marvel has had spent on it. Captain Marvel, you cannot get on YouTube, you cannot get on anything without seeing, hey, click here. I mean, after they pushed this last trailer, it was popping up as an ad on YouTube, as a paid ad. You shouldn't have to do that, Marvel. You shouldn't have to pay to plug one of your movies at this point, because it's not necessary. The MCU should be up. You could stop right now and not advertise Endgame again. It's still going to crush the box office. It's still, now, of course, advertising is going to increase the awareness that the movie's coming out, but I think we've done enough of that for you. There are people out there on YouTube doing countdowns of, hey, this many days until the release. So I mean, you don't have to advertise this. You can do this, but they're doing the opposite for what Captain Marvel. It's overdone. Thinking Critical say, unfortunately, Lucasfilms thinks in order to elevate female characters, they need to break down male ones. Just make awesome female characters like Leia and Ripley, and they stand on their own. Exactly. Go look at the Alien franchise. Ripley was awesome. Nobody had a problem there. But that's absolutely right. And why we have to tear down to build up. Black Panther. They keep selling it as this next Black Panther movie because it has an agenda, and it's just not going to happen. It's just not the same thing. Nobody believes that Brie Larson is oppressed. I mean, so, and it's going to keep going this way, unfortunately. It's everywhere. I've seen it. It's in kids' movies now. Lego Movie 2. I did a review of it with my son, which was a lot of fun because he says all kinds of craziness. But during that movie, they actually have a moment where they stop and the alien basically breaks down to the female lead character that, oh, you did all the work and the hapless male took the credit for it. And it's like, man, the Lego movie's getting woke now. And it's ridiculous. The whole premise of the movie that, one of those big underlying premises of the movie is that males have a destructive tendency, that we are going to be the ones to break things, that we want to hoard our stuff. We want it to be ours, things that are ours in society. Typically, like, comic books, superhero movies, Star Wars, all these things that are typically male dominated genres, that it's okay to let women in. The thing is, no one's arguing that. No one's saying that females shouldn't be allowed to play with Legos or we can't have quality female heroes or anything like that. But it's like Thinking Critical said, why do we have to break down good characters in order to prop up these ones? And why are they forced upon us? And why are they not necessarily good characters? That's what hurts. I thought the first Lego movie was fine. It didn't have any of that in there, and because of it, it was wildly successful. Lego Movie 2 did not do as well at the box office. Now people are saying, well, it's Lego Movie fatigue. I'm not so sure about that. Hey, y'all have fun at the beach. Thank you, Critical. Thanks again for coming and hanging out. If you guys haven't, go check him out. And subscribe to his channel because he's got some spot on commentaries about this stuff. But that's what it is. We're going to start seeing it in more movies. If you're seeing it in kids' movies, as actually there was another one I watched this the other night with the kids that was pretty bad too, and it's annoying. I'm over that sense of humor, and it seems to be what everybody else in the world, other than us on YouTube and talking about it here, want. So let me get a drink real quick. Back to Captain Marvel. I think it's going to be about a $80 million opening weekend. That's down from the initial projections of over $140 million. You guys can go back and check out my older, some old live streams I had. I've said this from the word go about Captain Marvel. They will be Ant-Man and the Wasp type money, and it's not because of a lack of trying. I was somebody who was on the fence about this movie. I was going to be there probably opening weekend to see it when it was first announced, when when I saw Infinity War the first time, and I saw that beeper, and it was the Captain Marvel symbol. It's like, well, man, I guess I'm gonna be there to see Captain Marvel, right? Well, yeah, not so much now. I'm probably gonna see it. Probably gonna see it eventually. But I don't know. It won't be the opening weekend. Now you're saying, hey, well, you know, you're talking like all these other folks about, you know, this is feminist propaganda. You shouldn't go see it. Well, there's a big difference between seeing a movie opening weekend and seeing it the third or fourth weekend it's out, and it has to do with the percentage of that box office sale. When you hand your money over to the guy at the counter, a certain percentage of that goes back to the distributor of the movie, and a certain percentage of that goes to the movie theater. The longer a movie has been has been out, the more that money goes to the theater than goes to the box office. Remember back in the day when we had those the dollar movie theaters and stuff like that? They could do that because such a small amount of the movie was actually going to the distributor of the movie. It had gotten so low they could actually run it for $1 and make a little bit of money on it. So the big thing on Captain Marvel is a slow opening weekend can hurt it, can send a message. I've heard that through just different channels, different rumor mills, that seeing Captain Marvel is not a necessity for Avengers Endgame. She's not going to be a critical character in it. She's going to have a role, but they're going to leave it to the big six that started this thing, your 6 Avengers, and I hope that's the case. What I'm telling you, the best possible solution for this, and you guys, write this down because this would be awesome. The best start to Infinity War, or I'm sorry, Endgame. The best start to Avengers Endgame. Imagine it. Close your eyes for a second and imagine. It starts, you're on a spaceship of some kind. You're on some, one of those highly metallic planets where the floors are all uncomfortable looking and metal and everything. And you're going across the floor with a camera. It's panning, and then you get a shot of Captain Marvel's beeper on the floor, and it's just ash falling down around it. I'm telling you, that'd be the best start of Endgame. You would have fans in the theaters clap for 2 minutes, and they would clap over the whole opening scroll for Marvel Studios, and I think that's the way they should do it. They should go. They just should honestly. There's a 50-50 chance that she's not going to make it, right? Well, let's just go ahead and eliminate her, and rather than bringing her in as this unstoppable hero, that before her movie is even out, we've already said that she is the most powerful hero in the MCU. And I'm sitting there looking at Thor like, really, bro? So that's just my thoughts on it. The box office is going to suffer because of Brie Larson and her craziness. I think you're already seeing that from people like me who were completely okay with just, hey, I'm not going to judge this movie until I see it. Everybody's saying, after the first trailer that, she looks boring and this is going to be horrible and all this other stuff. No, I didn't feel that way at all. I felt like it was a trailer. I felt like 90% of it is just going to be pieced together whatever anyways. I don't get too hyped off trailers unless it's in-game. But it's, I don't know. It's fun. The wheels have come off of it for me. I don't need to rush out and hand my money to people who don't want me there. If I were a reporter, Brie Larson would ask me to step out of the room or I won't grant you an interview because of your skin tone. So to heck with it, man. Hopefully, I'm half convinced this might be some kind of big conspiracy theory that there are individuals within Marvel that knew that she was an absolute nut job, and they're going to let this movie fail. They're going to let her run her mouth. They're going to let her turn away audiences because, I mean, Kevin Feige and the Russo brothers, the biggest thing about them is they are actually Marvel fans. They're fans of Marvel. You talk to anybody who's met with these guys, who sat down and talked or interviewed with them, and they'll tell you these guys love the Marvel comic universe, not the MCU, but they love Marvel comics. And they go back to talking about things like Secret War and all this stuff and all these other places they want to go with these in the MCU. And you think they were the ones that rushed out and said, hey, I'll take Captain Marvel. That'd be a great movie right now. No, absolutely not. They were, something tells me, hey, thanks James Clark. I really appreciate it, man. It's almost a little bit less than 6 months, so we're gonna keep rolling though, and hopefully keep growing, man. I really appreciate you stopping by. But we're talking some right now, just MCU and mostly Captain Marvel stuff. I've been on a rant about it for a little bit now, but ultimately, the Russo brothers, Kevin Feige, a lot of those guys, they are Marvel Comics fans, and I think they were fed Captain Marvel. Oh, thank you. Yeah, Thinking Critical is awesome. His channel has taken off, man. I really like his stuff. I reached out to him when he had like, I think 30 subscribers, and I asked him, hey, you interested in coming on? And us trying to work out our schedules has been a little bit difficult. He's on the other side of the world, so and we both got little ones, so it could be difficult. He's a good one though. I really like his stuff. But Captain Marvel, man, I think that was fed. I think that was fed from up high. I think they said you were going to have a female lead, and this is the one we want. I'm not sure that. I think it probably came from the Marvel Entertainment side, the the lifestyle brand side of Marvel Comics that's been pushing Captain Marvel in what, 8 reboots now. She gets a number 1 every time, like with every new moon. She gets a new number 1. It's insane. How much they've pushed Captain Marvel. I don't understand. I don't understand how many. Why? I don't know how you can keep up with the storyline if you like the character, because they've rebooted it so much. Oh man, that's cool. I'll have to check you out on that. I'm doing logos for channels and an animated. That's awesome. Do you do YouTube as well? Are you on? If so, I'll come check you out. But yeah, I've got my old my old Spider-Man across the top on my channel, and I've been looking to redo it. And every time I say I'm gonna fix that today, nope, something else pops up. But so what else was I gonna talk about today? I've beat up Captain Marvel pretty good, which is hey, Discovery Bay Comics, hello. Thank you so much, my friend, for running that this morning. That really means a lot. I really do appreciate it. For all you who don't know and are into comic books, Discovery Bay Comics every morning has an awesome show. He collects all the information for local, or not for local, for YouTubers that are running comic books, doing different unboxings, talking about comic book collecting and everything else. And he runs a schedule. He's like the TV guide for the comic book community on YouTube, man. It's amazing. He's doing a lot of stuff. His channel has grown. I mean, he's grown 10%, I think, in the last 2 days. He's up to probably 500 by now. And what he's doing for the community is absolutely outstanding. So thank you for what you do, man. I really do appreciate it. And thank you for the shout out this morning. James Clark, man, I'm gonna go check that out. I'm gonna check out, and I'll probably be over there to subscribe right after this. So, but absolutely, man, that's cool. Man, I can draw a mean stick figure. Oh, you're gonna be. I thought you were 4'4". You'll be the man. The way you're growing though, if you grew 10%, in the last week, because I was there when you hit 400 last week, so you're on the way, man. So, and there's one more, Mr. James Clark. We're making it happen here. Meeting people, shaking hands. Hey, let me introduce you to my friend here. And yeah, Mr. Clark here actually met me through, or found out about this channel through Thinking Critical, who is also another comic book YouTuber who just started, and he's doing really good. So that's really cool, guys. The actually, you guys might appreciate this. My buddy at work, he brought in a stack of comic books the other day, and he's like, "Look, my mom is like cleaning out stuff from the house. She found these. He's like, I don't know. I don't care if there's anything in here or not. Just you could have them because I know you're into comic books." And I was like, "Man, that's really cool." Well, I was going through them, and most of them are, Bronze Age stuff that are in pretty bad shape. Some old Superman, around 400 or so, and stuff like that. Well, I'm flipping through them and kind of just typing in online, hey, is there anything worth anything on here? And come across an old gold key. It's Addams Family, #1, and it's actually in pretty good shape. So I was pretty excited about that. I haven't checked out the rest of the stack because they're not in as good a shape, but that one that was in pretty good shape, I was pretty excited about. Probably not the pages are yellowed, of course. It's a nice 1974, so it's older than I am. So it's not been bagged or boarded or anything, so it's kind of got some bent edges and little creasing on the back. But I mean, for somebody to walk in and put it on your desk and say, "Hey, here you go, man," absolutely awesome. I can't complain about that. Man, that's cool. My dream is to when I retire from my current gig here in 5, 10, 15 years, whatever happens with my current career, when I do retire, I plan on trying to take a year and just write. And I want to actually finish a novel. I've got several ideas that I'm working now. I would love to work with someone on a graphic novel. Different ideas, really inspired by some folks that have done that recently, from that not a lot of experience in the industry, and they put out something that's pretty successful. But finding an artist and paying to have your idea put to paper is pretty awesome. But I have another friend who's into animation. Hey, thank you for stopping by, brother. And thanks again for the shout out this morning. Really appreciate it. I'm gonna click over to let's see. Man, let's see. Throw up one of these for him. But I'm what else was I gonna talk? I was gonna talk about some of this Star Wars Episode 9 stuff. If y'all are interested at all in that, there's been a couple rumors there about a new villain that Kylo Ren isn't going to be the main villain in that. So I hope that is the case, because I said a while back I did a video which was reimagining the Star Wars universe, and in that I talked about how it would have been a lot better if we could have gotten the First Order was scared of something out in space, and that being the Yuzong Vong or some other invading force that they were building up to fight. And that never really, that didn't happen. Hopefully that'll happen in Episode 9. You'll have to see the First Order and the New Rebellion or the Resistance or whatever you want to call it work together, and that creates that can create a lot of friction. It can create a lot of points where you think somebody's working together, and then you get that ultimate betrayal at the last second. One of my favorite authors is Brandon Sanderson, and he writes a book or a series called The Stormlight Archives, and in that there are several scenes where it's just emotionally it will exhaust you because it's so good. But I can see them doing something like that. I've heard Thrawn mentioned because, I mean, that would be awesome. And honestly, if he would have come back as the leader of the First Order, or at least have him instead of Hux, I think that would have been a lot better because it would have made sense, you know? I've heard another Force user. I don't take a lot of credit from Mike Zero. I actually want to do a video about how Mike Zero is a clone. That's the only way he can get all these videos done. But he had one about oh man, what's the name? I'm trying to remember it. Not Revan. Darth Revan would be insane, but that's going back to KOTOR stuff, Knights of the Old Republic stuff. It was not Revan. I can't remember. Avril, and the only thing I could think was Avril Lavigne or whatever her name is, and the whole time he was talking in this video. But this idea that there's this other Force user out there that is going to create that cause of the First Order and the New Rebellion or whatever to work together, which, you know, could be interesting. I'd like to. I don't know where they're going to go from now. You got 12 individuals in the Millennium Falcon hanging out saying that they're the Resistance. I'm sorry, but when you are no longer when they've established the government, when you no longer have a government, you're not a Resistance anymore. You're a rebellion. Drop the Resistance label. No one likes it. No one. And so that's just my thoughts on it. I'm a huge Star Wars fan and have been for a long time. I actually enjoyed the prequels even, and I think they've only gotten better over time because of meme magic, where these memes like, you know, take a seat and hello there and all these other ones have become so hilarious, or, you know, this is where the fun begins, and all those other memes that I mean, you watch the prequels now and you can't watch it without memeing it up. My novels are a space opera. I have one of the ones I'm wanting to write is about it starts with it's a space one too, focusing around Earth's Special Operations Space Force and an invasion that occurs, and that's one of the ones I started writing. It should be fun. I got a lot of ideas that I think would look really good on paper if the right artist had it. But it's very, very junior right now, very in the works still as far as building characters and the direction I want to go on that one. But yeah, man, that's being able to sit down and write my own novel would be, or a graphic novel even. I think what I would do, my preference would be to sit down and write the novel and flesh everything out the way I wanted to in a longer novel, and then taking that and breaking it into a graphic novel, doing the cue cards, doing the here's what it would look like. Oh yeah, absolutely. I wouldn't go. Heck, if it's too good of an idea, you'll end up with Disney on here stealing it in no time. So, oh man. But absolutely, man, yeah, go ahead and take it and email it to yourself, or put it in a sealed envelope and mail it to yourself. That way you can whip it out in court when somebody else busts it out and claims it. Especially if you've talked about it anywhere. Oh man, let's see. What else y'all want to talk about? I am good for whatever right now because I am. So yeah, I did talk earlier about I'm working on trying to build my channel up. Obviously, I'm working on building the channel. The one thing I'm going to start doing is two different things. And I just got on Instagram and Twitter, so I look like a Russian bot or something on there because it's a brand new account and it's from like yesterday. So, but I've intentionally avoided social media like most of my life. And I don't have Facebook or anything like that, but I did start these for the channel to help it grow. So check that out. Follow me on Twitter or Instagram. I don't even know how to Instagram at this point, so I'm still trying to figure that out. But also, on Monday mornings, I'm going to start doing a Monday Morning Marvel, or Marvel Mondays or something. I don't know. But every Monday, I'm going to put out a Marvel clip and kick that out there. And just a short clip from the movies, 2 to 3 minutes. You know, of course, Marvel's going to come in and monetize it, but that's not really the point. The point is to kind of share those moments and talk about them within the community we have here. And then the other thing I'm going to do is Feel the Force Fridays. And I'll do the same thing for Star Wars, where I will put out a clip from Star Wars, one of my favorite clips, kind of do a write-up about, you know, what I remember about this clip and how I remember it and all that kind of stuff. But it's, you know, a way to engage on a regular basis, to have a conversation about some of the cool stuff that Marvel and Star Wars have out there. And, you know, just really enjoy them. You probably won't see anything from the new trilogies honestly, for probably the first 2 months, I'm going to stay old school with the original trilogy, dropping some Star Wars, the Canyon Run kind of thing, and that moment where Han Solo sweeps in and says, knocks Vader out and take the shot, kid, it's all yours, and you know, those kind of moments that, you know, everybody who's a Star Wars fan loves. And, you know, as far as on the Marvel side, you know, I'll probably start with some Infinity War stuff, and go in from there, and probably start and work backwards. I think I'm going to work backwards with the Star Wars, or with the Marvel stuff. Probably work backwards from Infinity War. And I'm telling you, the scene I got to start with, in my opinion, is Thor busting in with Stormbreaker, using the Bifrost there in the Battle of Wakanda. That's got to be the first one. I am a Captain America guy, but in Infinity War, Thor just laid it down. I mean, he just did it. I mean, that scene right there had people standing on their feet in the theater, just clapping and ready to go. So that'll be the first one I do. So you can expect to see that on Monday. If you're subscribed to the channel, pop up, and of course pop up, leave a comment, like, and all that stuff, and I'll probably get it. I'll figure out how to do it on Instagram. I don't know what that looks like yet, but I'll figure it out, and shouldn't be too hard, right? I'll figure it out. The other thing I'm thinking about doing on the channel is I'm really grateful for everyone who takes the time to subscribe, everyone who stops by to check out a video and leave a comment, and I always try to engage everyone who leaves a comment. You know, or ask a question or whatever. That's I feel like that's absolutely something I should do, because I mean, if they've taken the time to watch a video and leave a comment, I mean, I should at a minimum thank them for it. And yeah, I agree. Twitter is a cesspool, man. I had it. I've had it for like a day, and I'm already like at the point where I'm like, I'm not going to make a habit of reading this stuff, because it just makes me think less of the world. It's bad. People are crazy. And if you wouldn't sit there and say it to my face, don't go typing it on a keyboard. You know what I mean? We don't have enough respect for each other anymore, and other people's opinions. I can disagree with someone without having to, drop an F-bomb or, well, it just baffles me that people can be so disrespectful to opposing opinions. I don't have to agree with everybody. That a difference in opinion is, that used to be scholarly arguments, and instead now it's just, that's trash. I don't go for all that Twitter drama and all that stuff, and I'm hoping to avoid it. I don't try to get overly political on anything. I do have my beliefs. I do have a truth. I have, so, and hey, I'll have to check that out, man. I'll shoot you my email after this. That's pretty cool. Love Spider-Man and Doc Ock are some of the best fight scenes in the comic books. They hit between that and anytime he's the Venom with McFarlane, when McFarlane was on it. Oh man, love those. I need to do a video with me pulling out some of my favorite comics I got around, especially covers. There are so many comic books I have that the comic book itself may be horrible, but I love the cover on it. The one that comes to mind is New Avengers number 20, which I could probably pull up a picture if. Yeah, give me a second. I'll get a picture up on this one. It'll take me a sec, but I can get this pretty quick. Save, boom, and here, add. Yeah, this picture is awesome because when you look at it, there's the thought that is there a group of people that would be more hosed at this point than these guys? And here it is. New Avengers 20. It's you sit there and you look in the reflection. It's Magneto, of course. Magneto is, about to go nuts. He's about to, he's gone. He's got the Brie Larson woke eyes. He is about to lose it. And in front of him, you've got Iron Man, Captain America, and Wolverine. Those guys are absolutely don't stand a chance. This is why Magneto wouldn't work. And there's actually a video by some guys that did this. It's hilarious. It's done to the old video games. Is it Geek Culture or I don't remember who it was, but they. But I love this cover. It's one that I've always I picked it up and I've got most of the New Avengers. I don't think I've got a handful that I'm missing. I think one of the key Ronins I'm missing, and but yeah, it's an example of a cover that I love it just because you look at it and you're like, man, it's amazing. And you think it puts the story there like, oh, these guys are so hosed. But the So I hit on Marvel Mondays, Feel the Force Fridays. I got Twitter up. I got Instagram up, which one of these days I'll figure out what Instagram does. I know it's just pictures, and you got to get a little bit creative because you can't share the things on them. What's it called? You can't share links on it unless you have the link in your title. So I just linked the channel, probably. But what else? What else were we going to talk about? I got my agenda here. I'd actually come up and wrote something down. If y'all, I didn't get to spend as much time getting ready for tonight as I wanted to, but it's cool. I mean, I had the kiddos, and that's always, you know, should be a bigger priority than YouTubing it up. But I mean, they're a lot of fun, man. Captain Marvel box office claps, already kind of hit on that. The Avengers Endgame Rumors. There were some interesting in-game rumors. I haven't really hit on this yet. The in-game kind of got people need to stop trying to figure it out, and a lot of these YouTubers, I mean, gotta just pump the brakes a little bit. They're setting themselves up for getting trolled, is what they're doing, because they're running with information that is half-baked. It's very similar to what happened with the Ryan Johnson story that came out this week about him being fired, that he's no longer working on his trilogy, all that stuff. And a bunch of YouTubers ended up with egg on their face because they jumped at a story that wasn't confirmed. It wasn't, or the individual who ran it initially did it with half-baked information, and everybody followed suit. Oh yeah, I agree that I'm talking more about the people that are running with information like this is a confirmed, you know. The most recent one was the what was it? The outfits, the quantum jackets. There was a release, and it had a write-up about it, and it referred to the microverse and several other things. Well, when you get down to it, the microverse, Disney doesn't own the rights to the term microverse yet. That is still with a Fox franchise, the Micronauts. So it's gotten to the point, and it was confirmed that this was like, yeah, this isn't even real. And it was kind of, it's bad. It's slow down sometime. Not everything is a leak. I think the leak chasers it gets kind of boring because they're like, oh hey, it's a new Lego set, and it's like, you know, I know they're making money off this, and once you get $1 attached to each click, it gets a lot easier to come up with a video on everything. I've been saying from the beginning on a lot of stuff, since the first in-game trailer, which I'm trying to think back, because once you have the second one in your head, it's hard to compare it to. The first one, the Tony Stark's he's going to make it back to Earth. Nebula is going to go one way at first in one ship. Tony's going to go the other. She's going to go to, and then they're going to meet back up. She's going to come in right before he runs out of oxygen completely, save him. They're going to decide, let's go get him. That's when you see them actually working together to, you know, build whatever it is they're building in the next one. So that somebody arriving is probably Tony. And the reason I say it's probably Tony is because they're stepping out there in the suit or without their gear on. I mean, War Machine's not geared up. Captain America's in, you know, he's not geared up. He doesn't have his shield with him. So something tells me they got the radio call. It's, hey, this is Tony. You know, once he popped back in, he could talk to Friday again. And so in all likelihood, it's just him talking to, he let them know, hey guys, what are you doing? You still there? And he's probably talking over the intercom at Avengers Tower or something. Or Avengers, whatever it is, the base. So, Thanos still has the gauntlet. The one that drives me nuts is why didn't Doctor Strange do this, or why didn't Doctor Strange do that? I want to be like, stop it, people. I'll start a hashtag called hashtag trust Doctor Strange, because he's the only one that's seen Endgame at this point. He's the only one that actually knows how to defeat Thanos the one way out of 14,605,000. And people are like, well, he should have done it this way. It's like, man, just be quiet. Why didn't they cut his hand off with one of those warps like they did to they changed his name. Used to be Black Dwarf, and they changed it to Cole Obsidian. Why didn't they just cut his hand off like they cut off Cole Obsidian's? Because there was something else there. If they had destroyed the stone back on Earth, I'm convinced if he hadn't reversed that destruction of the Mind Stone, it would have had negative consequences on the rest of the universe. I'm still convinced that's the case, but I could be wrong. I do want to see, if the one thing I do want to see is I want to see Captain America lift Mjolnir. Time travel shenanigans, Thanos chasing them through time, them going through time and trying to recover the stones at different points in history, and I want to see Cap swing Mjolnir, and I have heard that some people actually passed out during the viewings for this. Like, people literally, and I can't imagine physically passing out during a movie, but there have been people that allegedly passed out during during the viewings for Endgame. No, I've not heard anybody passing out during Captain Marvel yet, so you should be good there. But people passing out during Endgame, and it's supposed to have a 3-hour runtime at this point, so man, it's gonna be crazy. I'm getting pretty pumped for it. Man, I'm trying. Was there anything else in the trailer that I haven't really mentioned? I love the "not us" comments. Oh man, that's Ultron. That's Ultron's voice, man. I hope so. I hope they do bring Ultron back, because he is too good of a villain to have wasted in one movie the way they did. Some people move on, but not us. Not us. Oh man, the comment section of some of these videos and some of the reviews and stuff for that were hilarious. With some people are looking forward to Captain Marvel, but not us. Not us. And there was a ton of them. I think I texted my brother and said, some people watch this trailer once, but not us. Not us. So, but I can't wait to go see that movie. As soon as tickets come on sale, I'm gonna have to get some. I'm actually gonna be in Gatlinburg that weekend, of all places. So I have to figure that out. And yeah, yep. Have to figure out what movie theater and all that stuff. Oh man, I'm looking forward to that one. I've got something coming in the mail too that it may go to the movie with me. I don't know yet. I'm gonna do an unboxing on the. I do have my Infinity Gauntlet. I do have that. That will be going with me to the theater that day. I have Mjolnir as well. I may tote that, and I've also got a even better item that's coming that I'm probably going to take as well. But guys, it's been an hour, and I've got some other things I need to get done this evening. I've got some videos to work on. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out. It's been a lot of fun. Probably doing this again. I have another friend. I'm calling him. He hasn't officially been named. He doesn't have a YouTube channel or anything, but he's going by until he tells me otherwise. He's going to be Rebel Resupply. He is a Star Wars dork and geek like no other. He's going to probably try to come on here in the next couple weeks with me, and we are going to break down some of the fixing Star Wars stuff we've talked about. I have written. I'm pretty happy with the script for my Fixing Finn video. Just a little spoiler on it is I wish Finn would have been a lot more like Iden Verso from Battlefront 2, and the way that character was developed and the special ops aspect of it and everything else. I wish it would have been. I wish Finn would have been more like that character. But that is neither here nor there. That is just here in a couple weeks we'll have that done. That video. I really want to get that one right, and I've agonized over it. I get to like getting into the clips and trying to get the video to look perfect, and then I realized, look, you've been sitting on this for now 2 months trying to get it done. Just write it, record it, get it done. It's hard as a small YouTuber because you're doing this on extra time, and then you realize, hey, the guys that have those videos that look really good, they have like a professional studio. They got people helping them with videos. They got people pulling pictures and clips for them and everything else. So I need to tone down my expectations on what I can do as a channel. But I'm still not going to put out absolute poop anytime in the near future. At least I hope not. And if I do, you guys call me out with that dislike button. Hey, but if you haven't yet, go jam that thumbs up for me. It helps everything out. I appreciate it, guys. And the replay should be available here shortly. If you missed anything, man, hop on. I'll probably slice some of this up into clips and repost them on my channel. I actually, in a big thing, I have a recording I did when I was I'm at almost 6 months now, a little bit short. I did a video when I was my first 90 days on YouTube. And I had 30 subscribers, and so I did a video then talking about how it was a grind, how I was finally starting to, I felt like, get some traction, and then not too long after that, man, I had a video hit the algorithm for whatever reason and took off and got about 15,000 views, and with that I gained like 60 something subscribers, and that has helped. That has helped the channel. I'm always trying to catch my sister-in-law, who I love dearly, but every time I click on her channel and I see how many subscribers she has, she's like 10 or 12 ahead of me, and then I gain, like, I have a good day where I get 6 or 7 subscribers, and I'm like, yeah, here I come, I'm gonna catch her. And then she gained like 12 that day. But I'm so happy for her success, and it just gives me a goal. It gives me somebody to help set my pace by and try to catch her. You know, when I feel like she's taking off and getting a little bit far ahead, I'll try to work a little bit harder that day or something, and to get some subs or whatever. But I appreciate her, and she's giving me some good advice on this YouTube thing. But like I said, I'm gonna call it quits, guys. I appreciate you all hanging out with me. I really do, and I know how to turn this thing off this time, so I won't babble on. If you're not subscribed, which I'm sure most of you are, I probably know most of you that are on right now since there's only 4. Hit the subscribe button, of course. Leave a like, leave a comment, even if you think this is horrible. You think my voice is annoying. Hey, tell me in the comments. I appreciate it, guys. Real Comic Sacks out.